Today we're checking out the instrumentation and the dash on the 1954 New Yorker Project Deluxe, the NYPD. Come with me, let's take a look.
We are here in the captain's chair. This is the interior the driver would see on the 54 New Yorker Deluxe. So right up in front of you, of course, the steering wheel, large horn ring, and right in the center you got a big badge advertising that you've got power steering. So power steering was not something that you saw very often. It was very rare to see in 1954. So this car notified you as soon as you got in the car that yes, we had power steering. And then we've got the Chrysler quality badge right there in the hub. The steering wheel material, bakelite all around the rim, and it's falling apart every time I touch it. Something will fall off it. So we're going to need to have a solution for that. We go up over top of the steering wheel, and we've got the transmission shift indicator there, so it looks pretty traditional. I've seen some pictures of 54s, and this is kind of like a big box over this, so I'm not sure if it was a running change in 54, but it was a much larger indicator on top of the steering column, and it said power flight on it. This is a power flight, so it's a 2-speed automatic transmission. Power flight was brand new for Chrysler in 1954. It was an engineering masterpiece. Future video will go into some more detail on the power flight, but fully automatic. There's no clutch, so it's not a fluid drive or torque drive like the 53 was. So one thing you'll notice on the indicator, there's no park. So cars today, you'll have park, reverse, neutral, drive, 2-1 or 3-2-1 or whatever on the indicator. There's no park here. Put it all the way up here, it doesn't go into park. You actually had to put on the handbrake, which is down here, every time you would park the car. The handbrake operated the parking brake, which is actually on the end of that power flight transmission. There's a donut ring brake around the end of the tail shaft of the transmission, so you put the parking brake on it, it would grasp the drive shaft essentially and keep the wheels from turning. So that was what you had to do. Right here we've got indicator light, parking brake, big light, and it's apparently pretty bright. Just saying, hey, set the brake. Right below it is your switch for your headlights. Pretty traditional. These lights, there's actually a circuit breaker built into the switch for these, which was kind of neat. Down below here we've got a panel dimmer right here, and then this one is wipers. So we got 2-speed electric wipers. Most cars, very many cars in the 50s, the windshield wipers were vacuum operated, and these were electric, which was definitely a positive selling feature. Amp light here, so generator issues, the light would light if your generator wasn't charging. Speedometer, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. There we go. We've got 120 mile an hour speedometer. Indicator's reading 48,000 miles. It's probably 148,000 miles. And it actually has a trip meter as well, which has been zeroed out, and I have no idea how I did that. There's got to be something here somewhere to reset the trip meter, but you didn't see that very often in 1954. Over on this side, of course, fuel gauge and temperature gauge, and down here we've got an oil pressure indicator light, so loss of oil pressure, the light would come on. So not a lot of instrumentation really. The 1953 New Yorker had a very beautiful Art Deco cluster in here. 54 they went a little bit more, this was probably a modern looking 54, but the 53 was like a piece of fine jewelry. It was just a beautiful piece. This one's much more simplistic, but it's kind of got this brushed metal fascia around it, which is kind of cool. Another Chrysler quality badge and your signal light indicators up here. And then down here, of course, we got the traditional shift lever, ignition key, and we have cigarette lighter. Had to have that in 1954. All right, moving over a little bit. We have the radio. Don't know the condition of operation on it, but the vandals that did the rest of the damage on the car got inside and destroyed some buttons, lost some knobs. Did not find them in the car here, unfortunately, so we'll have to do some scrounging to get some parts for that, if it even functions. We can turn the tuning dial here, so maybe the radio will work. Next to that, the clock again, also broken. This area back here, this is actually power unit for the radio. You gotta remember the transistor wasn't really a thing yet, so vacuum tubes, the radio was a pretty large, I'll zoom back out here a little bit. Radio was a pretty large unit, so it was actually in 2 pieces back here. In many cases, it was a dealer installed option. Shop manual tells you how to install it and put the radio antenna on. Down here we've got the climate control, which is in a nice close position to the driver. We got fan speed, temperature, summer, winter mode, and then a defroster here. And then this lever down here, it says vent. This is for the hood cowl. There is a vent on the outside the windshield that goes up and down with that vent, so you can direct fresh air into the cabin. Obligatory ashtray, just one ashtray for the front seat occupants. And then over here, of course, we've got the glove box, walking glove box. Nothing of note in there, unfortunately. And finally, I guess the dash pad. This is a 70-year-old car, an original dash pad. It's fantastic all the way across. There's one small tear right there, and then a little bit down there by the glove box, but it's in pretty excellent condition. So, all the pieces are here. Up top in the headliner, stud visors. This one, the covering on it, that one's intact. This one, exposure disintegrated that, but the bones are there for reconstruction for a new one, which is great. Rear view mirror, headliner. We've got mouse house right up there. They would have used that as a runway and gone into the headliner there, and also back up here above the driver's head. There's a hole right here. This headliner was amazingly well insulated for sound deadening. So it's too bad about that, but it is what it is. It's otherwise intact, so you get a recreation done, shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, so that's the interior of a 1954 New Yorker Deluxe. This is one of the most expensive cars you could buy in America in 1954. There's really not a lot to it. The cheapest car you can buy in America has many times the equipment this car does, but that was state of the art 70 years ago. So that'll wrap up this video on the interior. I think next we're going to take a quick peek in the trunk, and then we're going to go under the hood, which is probably what y'all want to see. That 331 dual rocker firepower V8. So stay tuned with the channel, like and subscribe, turn on the notifications so you know when the next one comes up. Yeah, we'll do a quick look in the trunk, and then I think it's time to bust some knuckles. All right, thanks for coming out. We'll see you next time.